I don't care. I've stayed quiet long enough. A few years ago, I agreed to be a sperm donor. She said she just wanted the baby and not a relationship. I was young and naive, and I trusted someone that I shouldn't have. When she told me she was pregnant, I congratulated her and moved to California. I thought that was the end of it. But then she started messaging my mom. She said she had no one, and she pressured us all to be at the birth. So we did. We were all at the birth.
What's up, YouTube? Today we are covering how feminists use kids as weapons. So let's get into it, everybody. Let's get into it.
I signed the birth certificate, and I decided to be in the baby's life as a dad. I let her and the baby live in my Airbnb for free. I had to pay child support, and she took over $52,000 from me. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was being a dad. She started asking me to be a family, and when I refused, she called me a deadbeat online, and I stayed silent throughout it all. 2.5 years later, I decided to take 2 DNA tests. Both of them said the same thing. I was not the father. When I shared the results, she said that I was lying and that we tampered with the test.
Before you all start believing is some company with her DNA. That could have been anyone's DNA.
She filed a restraining order. A judge silenced me and made me remove all my posts based on Maria's claim that I was actually the father. Here is the court-ordered DNA test that I had to request, and it confirmed again I am not the father. And while I was silent, she kept going. She was changing dates on photos, spinning stories, manipulating people.
And this is the exact reason why the international dating market holds a lot more value than the local Western dating market. Well, one of the many reasons. Because after all, from my experience with being a passport bro, the funny thing, I never got anyone pregnant, by the way. One of the things I learned since becoming a passport bro, the funny thing about child support and family courts, their authority does not extend into the borders of other countries. If you do get a child pregnant, if you do get a woman from overseas pregnant with your child while doing the international dating market thing, there's nothing family courts can do about it. Because they don't have the authority to interfere with the laws of other countries. They really don't.
Some people believed her. But while she was doing that, I was uncovering the truth. Connections, manipulations, lies, and the truth about who the real father is. This is just the beginning of Maria's web of lies.
They will take advantage of you, and the courts will aid them in doing so, rather than protecting your rights. His naiveness cost him years of his life and money that he can't get back. All because he didn't realize the situation he was putting himself into by being a donor and signing the birth certificate.
Here's part 2 of my side. Apparently, I've been in a full-blown relationship I wasn't even aware of. Maria and I had a one-night stand on December 12th, 2020. She was in her 30s and I had just turned 24. And let me say this slowly for the people in the back. We were never in a relationship. She wanted more and I didn't. So instead of taking the L, she turned into a full-blown homie hopper. Like back to back. I wasn't even discreet about it. She just went down the roster like it was her job. I guess the logic was, if I won't date her, maybe I'll change my mind after I watch her hook up with all my friends. Bold strategy. It didn't work. And in case you think I'm still lying, her own cousin confirmed that we were never together. I'm sorry, Hadley. I know you hate this picture, but this is the time that Maria asked me to be a sperm donor. So she doesn't want to do IVF, and I'm convenient because we've already slept together once. She says that she wants nothing from me, and instead of doing the smart thing and walking away, I said yes, because I was 24 and apparently thought the best use of my time.
Okay, I see what's going on now. Yeah, the woman he's talking about is what we call a sperm jacker. In case you guys were not here for that episode, a sperm jacker is a woman who chooses to get pregnant as a career choice by trying to take full advantage of the male biasness in our child support system, as you can clearly see here. Keep in mind though, when it comes to dealing with sperm jackers, it's never about the safety and well-being of the child. It's about the woman wanting to make a financial profit off of that child, as we're seeing right here.
Was becoming a discount sperm donor for someone that I wasn't even texting back. I was thinking with the wrong head, obviously. He said, no strings, no drama. I just want a baby. I was like, sounds easy enough, I can do that. I really thought I could just sleep with her and help her get pregnant. And then go back to business as usual. Like, thanks for stopping by. Good luck with the whole parenting thing. Top tier behavior. I own that, I know it, but I genuinely believed her when she said it would be simple. No drama and no strings attached. That's not what happened.
Thinking with the wrong head will never lead down a beneficial path. Unfortunately, most men only find this out after they went down that path. And like I mentioned before, men have no safety net. Even if you're not the father, sometimes they'll still make you pay child support just because they can.
So this woman told me I got her pregnant the same day she got her period, and then accidentally...
Okay, I'm going to have to agree with that, and this is why paternity tests should be mandatory at birth, and the reason why I advise every single man in the West, or any man worldwide, never sign a birth certificate without seeing the paternity test, or the DNA test, whatever you want to call it. Because yeah, the woman either needs, from what I've been researching, she either needs biological proof that you're a father, or she needs proof that you signed responsibility of parentage. She just needs one of those. She doesn't need both. But if you deny her neither, if you tell her, hey, I'm not signing a marriage certificate without first seeing the DNA test, you deny her both, and she can't get child support payments from you then. Also, if she really wanted to just be a single mother, she would have gone to the hospital. She would have had the sperm donation that was frozen, put in a syringe, and injected in her. But this woman asked to do it the old-fashioned way instead, to become a single mom. Now, like I said before, do I think rape is a crime? Yeah, of course I do. Rape is definitely a crime. Do I understand that, hey, getting pregnant might not be a choice, but being a single mother is a choice? Yes, definitely. That has been backed up by science. Do I think a man should be expected to pay for child support payments for a child he never agreed to have in the first place? Especially when there's an overwhelming amount of documentational evidence that the mother in question is a sperm jacker. Most of that evidence, by the way, was provided to the entire planet on social media by the supposed mother herself. Definitely not. I don't think the man should be expected to pay for that. No.
Exposed herself on TikTok 3 years later. May 7th, 2021, Maria gets her birth control arm implant out. She's from my hometown, and she was living in New Orleans at the time, so she could only be here on the weekends. So she came in town the next 2 weekends, May 14th and May 21st. We partied with my friends, she stayed over, she had someone take these pictures, and then later tried to use them to prove we were in a relationship. We weren't. What was I supposed to say? Don't take a picture with me? And then I went to California. While I'm there, I posed with another girl, Whitney. She's only a friend, but Maria didn't know that. Maybe she got jealous, I don't know, but what she did next will never cease to amaze me. On June 6, 2021, Maria gets her period. She knows I didn't get her pregnant, and she also knows I'm about to move across the country. So she invites me to brunch, and she tells me she's pregnant, fully knowing that she's not. Then she starts drinking, like a lot. We then leave and go to another restaurant and meet up with my friend Dylan, and she also tells him that she's pregnant. Dylan and I think it's weird that she's drinking, but she insists it's okay. Here's the proof that this video is on June 6th.
Fuck this place, move to California.
Like, hey, you didn't get a lemon in you.
Oh, fuck, wrong way.
This video is dumb, but it shows two things. Maria was drinking, and I made it very clear that I was leaving. And that's important because that brunch, that's the last time I ever saw her until the week before the baby was born. Here's how we found out that she was on her period when she told me she was pregnant. Here's a photo she posted to TikTok to try to prove we were in a relationship. She changed the dates on the photos, but we'll get into that later. And then she posted this one. I then tell my girlfriend, who's a nurse, that she took that photo the day that she told me she was pregnant. And Hattie's like, hold up, there's no way. Let me see that ultrasound photo again. So we pull up the ultrasound that she sent my mom. The ultrasound was done on January 17th, 2022. And it showed that she was 32 weeks and 1 day. I've since learned that pregnancy is calculated from the first day of a woman's last menstrual period. And if we count back 32 weeks.
Yeah, and that's something else we just covered. There's no possible way a woman can get pregnant while having a period. If you're having your period, the way a period works, if you know how it works, if you have your period, that's a pretty good kind of dry sign you're not pregnant. Also, when you look at how much that woman was drinking in the video, even if she was pregnant, there's a pretty good chance that the child would be dead. Yeah. Because that's literally the reason why they tell you not to drink during your pregnancy. It actually is.
Weeks and 1 day from January 17th, 2022, we get June 6th, 2021, the day she told me she was pregnant. And we didn't sleep together that day either. Since she never saw me after that, that means that she knew from the beginning that I was never the father. Furthermore, here's proof that I'm in California the only weekend that she could have gotten pregnant. She trapped me before there was even a baby. And the crazy part, we probably would have never found out if she wouldn't have posted the photos. She exposed her own lie, and it only gets crazier from here.
This is why it is important you get a DNA test done, because they can and will get pregnant by one person, then trick another person into being the father. The reason they do this is because it's very easy to get away with it. Like he said, only got a test done when she slipped up and caused suspicion. Most men are in this same boat and won't get a DNA test unless they're suspicious of paternity.
Here's how I ended up the birth of a baby that I was only...
Yep. And the reason why she's doing this is because, like I said, it's not about the child's well-being. It's about her wanting a financial profit off of that child. In case you're wondering why the majority of the most violent offenders come from single mother households, here it is. Now, do I understand that, hey, in this economy, in order to raise a child comfortably, you need at least the benefit of 2 incomes? Of course I do. I understand that. Do I believe that, hey, if a woman ends up choosing to become a single mother on her own free will, especially when there's a lot of evidence that she provided herself online that this woman in question is in fact a sperm jacker, that woman, therefore, should take full financial responsibility for that choice she made on her own free will? She cannot just throw half of the financial responsibility on a man who never agreed to have the child? Yes. The woman who chooses to be a single mom on her own free will should take full financial responsibility for that choice. Because that was a choice she made on her own free will.
To be a sperm donor for. July 12th, 2021, she confirms that she's actually pregnant. We only found that out later when she started posting on TikTok, but at that time she kept quiet. From July 22nd through July 26th, I was with my friend Whitney. She met my mom and she posted it on Facebook. Maria didn't know she was just a friend, and based on what happened next, I think she got jealous. Because not long after, Maria starts messaging my mom.
Hello.
Hey mama.
The night, I guess that we first met, I guess was that night at the half show. One of the first things after we introduced ourselves and sat down, I can remember her saying to me that she hoped that I didn't think that she took advantage of my son. And of course I gave a polite answer to that. We went on to discuss and how I guess she was impressed with you to be so young and so successful at that age. I can remember her mentioning your house and all your toys.
From that point on, Maria started pulling my mom in deeper. She would ask for baby pictures of me, and she told my mom that baby's gonna look just like me. She made my mom feel important and needed, and when Maria told her that she had no one, my mom felt pressured to come to the birth.
She told me if something ever happens to her, I want you to raise the baby. And I just remember thinking, this poor girl has no one.
By then, my family was in, they were planning to be at the birth, and I was about to be too. My mom tells me that Maria told her she has no one coming to the birth, no family, no support. She's scared and she really wants me to be there. So I booked the flight on February 23rd, 2022, and it's $677. And I sent Maria the screenshot. By this time, Maria has already had 2 separate baby showers and never posted anything about it. Not one bump photo, nothing. And then a few hours after I booked my ticket, and on the same day that I sent her the screenshot confirming I was going to be at the birth. And at 8.5 months pregnant, that is the first time she ever posts that she's pregnant. And she uses my last name. She waited until I was fully...
Yes. Okay, I can explain this for all of you. This is typical behavior from your average sperm jacker, which is what this woman is that she makes sure that by the time the guy realizes what's going on, or anybody in his family realizes what's going on, it's too late. The order for child support payments has already been made, or she's already demanding child support payments. That's literally what the strategy is. Keep the guy in the dark and his whole family in the dark about what's really going on until it's too late to turn back. That's how sperm jackers do this.
And then she told the world. She didn't just lie, she made sure the lie had backup. The day the baby was born, I was there, and I was the first person to ever hold the baby. And I just remember thinking, this is what it feels like to become a dad. I didn't care about anything else in that moment. My parents are there posting about how they're grandparents again. And then the nurse comes in and she brings in the forms for the birth certificate and the acknowledgement of paternity. I signed everything because I thought the baby was mine, and Maria knew I would. After the birth, she scheduled a full-blown newborn photo shoot. She posed me holding the baby and they would jump in the photos. She had my dog in the photos too and had already ordered a bandana that said Big Brother. She shared the photos online, but I had no idea because I was already blocked on Facebook. She was posting pictures of me and the baby, making it look like we were this perfect little family. And while I'm across the country, she's messaging my childhood friends. She's asking my best friend Dylan and his girlfriend Megan to babysit, and they do. She starts asking my friends and family if they want to be the godparents. She didn't just ask 1 or 2 people, she told multiple friends they might be chosen. Literally, this is what my brother posted of me, the baby, and my friends. He joked, the godparents who didn't make the cut. And Maria liked the picture. At first, she kept things peaceful and calm. It's like she didn't want to risk pushing me away too fast. Once I was settled into this nice little world she created for me, that's when she started to tighten her grip. And that's when the real abuse begins. Part 5 coming tonight. You don't realize it's abuse when there's no bruises. But she didn't need violence. She used my love for the baby to control me. She waited until I was all in. Once I settled into my role as a father, once she knew I wasn't going anywhere, that's when it changed. The control started small, a comment here, a demand there, but it escalated fast. It was Easter 2022 and I flew home to see the baby. I spent nearly $900 on flights. My whole family was at the house. My parents, nieces, uncles, aunts, cousins. I blocked off my Airbnb and I hosted everyone, including Maria and the baby. At first, things seemed normal. She was upstairs drinking, talking with my mom, being friendly. I was downstairs with my cousin, just hanging out. The more she drank, the more her attitude started to shift. There was this edge to her, sharp glances and short responses. You could feel it building. Then, out of nowhere, she leans over the upstairs balcony, clearly drunk, and screams down at me in front of everyone, "Get your ass up here and take care of your child." My mom says this is the first time that she saw it. That Maria expected something from me way beyond what we agreed to. For me, it was the first sign that if I didn't do what she wanted, she would humiliate me in front of everyone. After that day, things shifted, subtly at first. But every time I didn't respond fast enough and give her what she wanted, she would use the baby against me. May 16th, 2022, she asked if her and the baby could stay in my Airbnb rent-free I don't answer right away. A few hours later, she threatens to take the baby away from me, so I say yes. She moves in, I cover rent, utilities, internet, everything.
Yep, using the baby as a weapon. Oh, and the reason why her behavior all of a sudden changed is because she strongly believes she won. So there's no point in hiding her true colors anymore. Yeah, that's what happened.
Meanwhile, I can't rent it out during peak season. I'm losing money left and right, but I tell myself it's worth it to stay in the baby's life. August 2022, I come back again, so I have to drive an hour each day just to see the baby, and then an hour back just to sleep with my parents. I keep showing up, I keep complying, because by now, it's clear. I push back, I lose access. After she moved out of the Airbnb, the control didn't stop. She texted me, "This is what I want from you." She wanted me to start paying the full daycare amount, even though there was no court order in place. And in exchange, she said that I could have the baby every other weekend if I stay at my parents' house. I've never been arrested, I didn't use drugs, I've never been violent, abusive, or even raised my voice around her. There was no court ruling, no concern from a judge, nothing. It wasn't co-parenting, it was control. My access to the baby came with conditions that she made up as she went. Then, about a week later, she posted a photo on Instagram with the man that we now know is the dad. Just something to note, we'll get into that later. Then came the baptism. We talked about this in my first video, but here's a quick recap. I drove 14-hour round trip just to be there. The night before, she asked me to come hang out. I said no, I didn't want to give her the wrong impression. So she told me I wasn't allowed to come to the baptism, just like that. I didn't fight it, I just let my parents go instead. I was just trying to keep the peace. By summer of 2023, things took another turn. Now it wasn't just emotional pressure, it was legal. I was overwhelmed and hiring an attorney felt too expensive. Plus, I had no reason to question paternity. Maria told me if I didn't just sign what her lawyer sent, she would take me to court and get $1,400 a month in child support and $16,000 in back pay.
Okay, so yeah, apparently even before they went into court, she was already demanding child support payments. Yeah. And I don't know if they got married, I don't know if they did, but if they did, this woman clearly had no intentions on obeying her end of the marriage contract. She didn't. Personally, I think the man should be given full custody of the child. Because like we stated before in this video, this sperm jacker, her sole intentions for this kid is to just get a financial profit off of the child. It literally is. She has no intentions on raising that child to be a fully functional member of society. Zero. None.
I felt trapped. In those same messages, she said that she didn't want to go in front of a judge. Looking back now, that feels important. I agreed to pay $750 a month and $10,000 in back child support, just to avoid a legal battle. I didn't think I could win, so on August 21st, I wired her $10,000. You think that once the court order was in place, things would settle down, but they didn't. If anything, the control got worse. I made my first court-ordered child support payment on November 1st. Less than 2 weeks later, she's calling me names, refusing to let me keep the baby overnight, and demanding more money again. Even simple visits came with strict conditions. When I tried to coordinate a time to see the baby, she laid out impossible rules for pickup and drop-off. She told me exactly when, where, and how, and still refused overnight visits. She insulted me in one breath and demanded child support in the next. I gave her extra money, $30 here, $250 there, all outside the court order. I was trying to avoid conflict and trying to stay in the baby's life. Then out of nowhere, she texted me that she wants to be with me. I told her gently, again, that's not what I want. Days later, she posted photos of me and the baby at our house on Christmas morning, like we're a happy little family. By early 2024, it felt like there was no line that she wouldn't cross. February 1st, I make the court-ordered child support payment on time. On Valentine's Day, I posted this photo while I was out to dinner. I wasn't even in town, it wasn't my girlfriend, just a night out. Maria saw it and immediately started freaking out, texting that I should have taken the baby to dinner instead. Then she said, "Keep this up and I won't let you see her anymore." I sent her $100 for a Valentine's dinner for her.
Yep, and the reason why for that is because, hey, she's a single mom now, technically, even though she's forcing you to pay for everything. But since she is a single mom, guess what? Men are not paying attention to her as much as they used to. They really are not. Like, her value as a woman has gone down. People have started seeing her for who she truly is. And as for the whole, hey, you gave her what she wanted, but it got worse. Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, giving the woman what she wants may neutralize the temper tantrum there, but it's only going to be a temporary solution. And the temper tantrum that'll happen next will be so much worse and have so many much more consequences because you're enabling the behavior. That's literally what happens.
And the baby, just trying to avoid another explosion. March 1st, I pay again, $750 in support, plus $31 extra for dance class. Again, not court ordered, just trying to keep the peace. Then she posts birthday photos, thanking our family and best friends for coming to celebrate. We don't share family or best friends. She just went out of her way to find my family and friends, message them, and inserted herself into every part of my life. I paid for the birthday party, $364, so she didn't need extra money. However, the next day, she demands the child support payment 26 days early. When I say no, she tells me to die and says I'll never see the baby again. The next day, I sent her $156, not because I wanted to, or was ordered to by the courts, because I felt like I didn't even have a choice anymore. Then she posted even more birthday photos, this time at dinner with my family, like everything was normal. I guess because I paid her, she was happy.
It wasn't because you paid her and she was happy, man. It's because she's trying to keep up her public image. Because the thing is about feminists, including sperm jackers, they want to be seen as good people without ever actually being good people. Also, yeah, I'm pretty sure this sperm jacker, she's using a kid as a weapon against you in order to enslave you. That's what it is. Now, do I admit that there are male child abusers out there? Of course I do. Yeah, of course. And that is wrong. The difference is, I don't see any male child abusers using a child to enslave another man. I never really saw that. I'm not saying that child abuse, I'm not trying to lower the effects of child abuse. I'm just saying that there's a huge difference between a male child abuser and a female child abuser, as you're seeing right here. Like, there literally is. And by the way, from my experience, what I'm saying, I think female child abusers are so much worse. Because it's, as you see here, it's pretty much like using a child for psychological warfare. That's what it is.
By this point, I was drained financially, emotionally, mentally. She controlled when I could see the baby, how much I paid, what I was allowed to post, and how I lived my life. And every time I pushed back, she would punish me for it. It didn't matter how much I gave, she always wanted more. And I didn't think it could get worse. But then I met Hadley. And for the first time since meeting Maria, I was in a real relationship. An actual one, and it was serious. Part 6 of Maria's Web of Lies will be up tomorrow.
Making mistakes is a normal part of life, but hopefully every man watching this can learn from these mistakes so you can avoid them. Do not be a donor. Do not sign the paternity acknowledgement.
And I would agree with that. That's all I got time for today for this live stream. Hope you guys like it. If you do, smash that subscribe button and like, leave a comment, you name it. We really want to hear your thoughts on this.